Hey guys, Jonathan here, Colorado Custom Covers and Decks. Just want to go over how we put our flats in for our mid border. Alright, so this deck over here is 23 foot, and so we can't get a 23 foot deck board. It only comes in 12, 16s, and 20s. So then we put middle borders in, or splines, or whatever you want to call it, but I like to call it mid border. So what we did is we got a 2x8. This is only going to be a 1x6 border, so we found our center when we did our layout, and we know that that mid border is going to go right in here. All right, and we spaced these two at 7.5, so this will fit right in nice and tight. And so then what we do is we measure, and we see that this here, these joists, about 9.5, 9 3/8. So what I did then is we take our extra blocking that we have and rip it at 7 7/8, okay? Because we got 1.5 inches, so that makes it 9 3/8. Because we don't want these blocks sticking down below. We want them to be about flush or a little short, okay? And when we rip it, make sure we put the rip side nail to the bottom, so we got a nice clean side on the bottom, so it looks clean and finished. It doesn't have a rip. And then I cut it at 7 1/4. 7 3/8, just to make it a little shy so that we don't have trouble setting this in. All right. Another thing is we take our measurement from the ledger all the way to the rim board, and then I usually take off roughly about 1/2 inch, and that gives us some room for our hangers. As you can see on the hangers, they have these little clips that are sticking out, and we can nail those in too, but it just sometimes gets in the way if we get it super tight. So I usually cut it a little bit short, give us some room so we don't have to fight with it when we put it in. All right, and then so once we get those, we kind of evenly space these out, stay a little bit from the ends. And then what I do is I'll put it down and I toenail it here and I toenail it on that side. So I toenail one side, and then I'll go ahead and get my square on there, get it squared up, square this side up, and then toenail that side. All right, so toenail one side, get the square, toenail the other side, so these blocks are squared, they're not just crooked or anything like that. And once I get those all toenailed in from the side and they're all set, I'll flip it over and I'll come in with some GRKs. I usually like to do 3 and make sure we sink it, all right, because we're probably gonna have to plane this down a little bit, and that screws this thing up. It's gonna mess up the planer. So make sure you sink it so that they're nice and sunk in there and that they're grabbing that block really nice and tight. And then when we go to drop it in, what we'll do, we'll usually have 2 guys, 1 guy underneath, 1 guy on top. We'll usually put a screw on the top so we can hold it with our hammer. And we'll go through, get it, and just nail it in from the joist over, so that this will get flipped over, will be held up, or if it's short enough, I can get my hand in there, and I'll come in with my nail gun and nail it for now, just to get it set. And on this side, this joist here is bowed. This joist here is straight. So this is the one that we're going to be nailing off of first. So this is the one we're going to go off of, and then we'll push this one in. We'll push this one in tight to this here, so that it becomes tight. And then we'll go through and screw it. We'll screw our blocks in through there, so that's nice, tight, and held nice and tightly. So when we're doing our mid border, we have to always think what's going to go on there, which is going to be decking. And we always want our border, our mid border, to be just a hair higher, flush or a hair higher than the decking coming into it, okay? If our border is a little low, when they go to shovel, your shovel is going to hit the edge of those decking once it's cut. So we want to make sure our border is either perfectly flush or just a hair high, so that when you're shoveling, it just kind of goes right over that border. It's all nice and beveled, so there's no, or it has a nice bull nose on there, so there's nothing sticking up where it's going to just chip it or anything. So just keep that in mind when we're putting these in, that when we're putting this in, we go through and plane. We want to make sure that we're planing this nice and level and really well. So that's how we set our mid borders. You can too on the ground, if you wanted to, is nail these 2 boards to here first before you even put them up, and then put it up, so that it's just like 1 big flat piece at first. You can always do that too if you wanted to. So a couple different ways to do it, but that's the way we like to do it. Thanks.